How's everyone doing?
How are you?
Great win. Started off slow. Played like hot garbage in the first half. Probably 5 minutes left in the first half. We started picking it up quite a bit and doing what we're capable of doing. Hats off to the defense and how they were steadfast today. They atoned for the disappointment that we were last week defensively. We still gave up a few plays, but overall, I think we forced three turnovers, interception, I think 2 fumbles, 3 turnovers, and we didn't give up explosion to the end. So I'm really proud of the defense. Special teams stepped it up. We didn't have nothing crazy that transpired, and Jace Philly is who he is. He's unbelievable. Kicking the ball in, he kicked the ball, kicked it off in the end zone, and we punted the ball really well too. I think we got a couple inside the 10. So coaches did a great job. They called a great game. Some things that they're calling, we're just not doing what we're capable of doing, and they get the blame for it, but the kid is just in the wrong gap or not feeling like he's supposed to, or not blocking, or running the wrong route. So overall, it was a win. To just think that we played like we played and we won by that margin, that's a pretty good feeling for any coach. And I think for you all to see what we're capable of doing. I keep saying more and more young men as well as coaches are relieving. I think we're up to probably 80% now of young men in that locker room as well as staff and support staff truly believing what we're capable of doing. It's not believing in me, it's believing in what we're capable of doing. That was the question I posed to the last week. It wasn't about me, it was about the young men and what we possess. Let's go.
Ariel Orsuto, 9 News. After last week's win, the talk was just about truly believing and really kind of the us against the world mentality.
Right.
After this week's win, it was a very different type of win, more decisive type of win. What is the mentality this week?
We didn't just want to win, we wanted to dominate. In the first half, we weren't dominant. In the second half, we got it together and we began to dominate, but we wanted to really impose our will because the whole theme of the week was his person. One of the funniest moments in the during game after Shedeur took his helmet off after he made the tremendous scramble, like a Heisman type play. And I went over and said, you cannot do that. You cannot take your helmet off. He said, Dad, it's personal. And I just bent over and laughed my butt off because it was in a moment and I was really upset, and he broke the monotony up with his personal. So they really took it to heart, that whole theme of the week. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach Nick Miller, Fox 31.
How you doing, man? You been better?
I'm doing a little bit better.
Amen.
When we met with you in the spring and we first asked you about Shedeur, you told us that growing up his nickname was Grown.
Yeah.
We just met with him and he said when Nebraska came out, Matt Rule and the team, they had a meeting, on the Buffalo, and he went in there and disrupted, and he said, he talked about my pops, and I took that personally.
That's right.
In the second half, he leads your offense after a slow start. As a father and as a coach, how proud are you when you watch these moments where he takes leadership upon himself and represents not only the program but also your family in these moments? And also, how would you rate his prime time show?
I'm 56 years old. One at a time, man. One at a time. Give me one question at a time. I can't remember all this stuff. As a father, I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of Shiloh as well, and Junior as well, doing what he does for social media. He's very mature. He's always been very mature, very astute. He studies his butt off, and he's prepared. I'm not happy that at least we're in the 7 sacks, I believe, today. But once we got it going and he got his rhythm, he performed greatly. But to take the onus on himself when someone talks about me, that's how he grew up. If someone talked about my kids, I handled it. That's the expectation of a father, not a baby dad, a father, of a real father, and I take pride in that. And I try to teach my sons the same. But overall, as a coach and as a father, I'm truly proud of all 3 of my sons and what they contribute on a daily basis. Yes, sir. Just talk, man.
Okay. Just your thoughts on seeing the scene out there, both before the game, during, and then afterwards. During
beautiful. A lot of this stuff is new to me. You got to understand. So I know I've been to the highest level in World Series as well as Super Bowls. but in the coaching aspect, Power Fives, just to see, I think it was a sellout last week. I think it is the most broken attendance record, I believe, for TCU, and what we accomplished today. And to see that many people that came to see us perform, it was tremendous. That not just the number, but the energy and the love and the expectation. I love that. I really did. I drive it over to the set for the big noon kickoff. It was phenomenal. Just feeling the energy of the student body as well as the fan base here was unbelievable. That was my first time. We didn't get to really feel it in the spring because it was snow. I didn't want to go out there. It was cold, so I didn't really get to feel it. But we felt it today, and I'm pretty sure the kids gonna have a good time. Hopefully they go get a nap and then wake up with some energy and they can celebrate with their families. Great question, though. Yes, sir.
Randall Williams, Bloomberg News. I've spoken to a number of local businesses, economists, and no one has quite been able to measure the impact that you've had on Boulder since you arrived here. Can you talk to me about that and what you expected?
I think we're going to measure the impact that we have on Boulder. That's business. So we're going to measure the impact. It's hard to say what that means or what that is. We're just happy. The thing about it, I'm not really thinking about the economical impact. Really, I'm thinking about the social impact. I'm seeing more African Americans than I've ever seen before, sprinkling throughout the stands and the stadium and the restaurants and everything, and I absolutely love it. The thing about sports, the thing about competition, when Shedeur's out there doing what he's doing, and Travis and Xavier and all those guys, they're not black Colorado Buffaloes, they're just Colorado Buffaloes. And we all come together, and I think we're bringing people together, we're uniting, and that's the part of it that I adore. I truly do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Howe from the Daily Camera.
What's going on,
You had a
Bo?
couple of guys like Chick and Cam that didn't play a whole lot last week, but had big impacts today.
Yeah.
Does that help with that belief that more guys believe when they know that they're going to get their shot?
Well, you got to practice. You got to practice and prepare in order to get your shot. You can't just think you're going to get your shot and you're actively meandering around practice. Chick has really been in the playbook. He's a Fort Myers boy, so I have a vested interest in him. I want to see him do well. He's my homeboy coming from the hometown. And Cam played for me in high school. So I definitely want to see these young men go out there and perform. But they had to get it together at practice before we were able to put them on display for the whole world to see it. Both of them came up big, and Chick was darn in tears at halftime. He was just thanking me for giving him an opportunity. I'm like, you earned that, my man. You earned that, and I'm proud of you. So I love those type of stories.
Hey, Coach, Jake Shorn, DNVR.
What's going on, both?
Doing well. How you doing?
Excellent.
How would you describe the connection that Shedeur and Xavier Weaver have?
Shoot, they see the stuff that you see on the field. I see in practice. I've been saying this for a long time. Everyone's just getting an opportunity to see it. Xavier, man, is a dog, man. He is a go-getter. He wants that ball. He high points it. He can get deep. He's great off the jam. Great run after catch. He's really a return man as well. The kid loves the game of football. So I promise you're going to see a season filled with that because that's the kind of kid he is, and he loves to compete. He loves to compete.
Hey, Coach, Eric Christensen from CBS Sports Colorado. How you doing?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You said the defensive tone for their performance last week. You said the theme this week was it's personal. They played like a unit who really took that to heart. Can you speak a little bit more about their
Yeah,
performance?
I mean, they're not happy or satisfied with how they performed last week. That's not indicative to who they were. Coach Kelly called it an excellent game. I'm hearing it on the headset. And, guys got out of their gaps. They just missed tackles. They just do what they're capable of doing. But today, early on, just starting out the game the way they started was phenomenal. And they truly believe that they could be a dominant force. Mix in a few more sacks and pressures and keep the quarterback in the pocket. Coach Kelly went crazy when that guy slipped out of the pocket. I wish you could have heard it on the headset. He was about to lose his mind. But overall, they really played well and we're proud of them. But we still have to fix some things if we want to be who we want to be.
Coach Matt Smith, 104.3 The Fan. Could you evaluate Shedeur's decision-making today? Felt like maybe a couple times holding on to the ball, even he admitted it.
Yeah, you got to understand, when Shedeur holds onto the ball, it's not just he just holding onto the ball. Somebody probably ran the wrong route, or somebody was signal, or something happened. He never just sits back there and hold on to the darn ball. And his read may be here, but you may see a guy wide open over there, but that wasn't his read. They probably blew something, but that was his read. So the thing about him, I used to question him all the time, especially coming up in high school and coaching him, because I was calling the plays for him. But then when I watch the film, I understand what he's saying. So I've learned to not too quick to judge him when I don't see the full picture, because he tells me what's transpiring.
Coach, Romy Bean, CBS Sports.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Excellent.
Well, one thing that seems to continue to stand out is the mental fortitude of this team. I mean, last week it was going toe-to-toe with TCU. This week it was finding a way to win despite that slow start. Can you just speak on the mental strength of this team?
They're mentally tough. I mean, we look for the smart, tough, fast, and disciplined young men to fill our locker room and our rosters. And the majority of them feature several of those characteristics. I'm proud of them that they don't tire. You know, they don't have a pity party. You know, coach hates to hear the word "my bad" on the sideline. You hate hearing that, but they're really upset when they know it's their fault and they made a tremendous mistake to allow that team another possession. But they're getting it. I mean, they're getting it. It's only our second game in, but they're getting closer and closer with every day of practice and every game. I'm proud of them. I really am.
Hey, Coach. Brandon Crisell from KOA, your radio partner. It looks like College Game Day may be coming here. Big Noon on Fox is coming back. You said this is new to you. It's certainly new to a lot of folks around here.
No. The media ain't new.
Not the media. That's coming. College Game Day hasn't come to Boulder very often, and they don't go very many. You know, they can only go 12, 13 places a year. So how satisfying is that you tell these kids, come here, we're going to build something special, and it's coming to fruition?
Well, we expect it. I know it sounds kind of boastful. It sounds at the risk of sounding arrogant. We truly expect that, and that's why those kids come. They want the biggest stage, and they're getting that during the week. And the numbers justify it. What numbers did we have last week? Over 7 million?
Over 7 million.
7 million viewers on Fox. I think it was their biggest opening day in their history. First game out, so shoot. I'm pretty sure these numbers are going to justify it as well.
College Game Day just made it official, by the way.
Hey, man, you go, girl.
Yeah.
You go, girl. That's the way to get that. I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. I don't blame him. I'm good. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach. Donnie West from Big Dog Chico YouTube channel. We've been following you from there.
Yeah, I checked you guys out.
We never once doubted you as a team. But just wanted to know a little bit about your thought process when it comes to Travis Hunter and him playing both ways, like given that from the perspective of you being a player who played both ways.
Well, you got to understand, everybody who's critical of that and saying when he's going to tire and he's going to do that, shoot, they can't cook and answer the phone at the same time. So I don't subscribe to that foolishness, because that's who Travis is. Thank you, Pastor Dr. Teacher, my man. That's my pastor. When your pastor bring you some water, you know you got it. Love you, Pastor. But Travis is he's special. He has a tremendous gift, and he wants to play. He loves to play. At 6 o'clock this morning, probably 5:45, I get a text every game day. Let's go. That's what I get from Travis every game day. Let's go do this, coach. So I love him like he's my son. I treat him like I would if he was my son. But he's a tremendous player, and you got to put him on display. Consistently put him on display. He loves to compete.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Pat.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. What does it tell you about your team that you've won these two games, completely different styles? Kind of a classic shootout last week. This felt more like a backyard brawl until you pulled away late. What does that tell you about your team? What does it mean going forward?
It tells me that we're resilient, that we're tough. I mean, we weren't as disciplined as we normally are early in the game, but we played a smart game, and we just got to start quicker. We got to start quick. We got to come out and let's go. But I'm happy that we had the ball in the second half. That's a lot. When you're able to go down and score, then you know you're going to get the ball in the second half. That's like doubling down, and I love that. But this team hasn't scratched the surface of what it's capable of doing. We still got some players that are really good players, but they hadn't thrusted themselves into that spotlight yet because of the lack of consistency. But they're going to get it. I truly believe in that.
Hey Coach, Xavier Wolf with Future Sports Broadcasters of America. I'm wondering, was the defense a big focus during the week leading up to the game?
The defense is always the focus. We don't just focus on one unit, but they're always the focus on fixing the things that we were horrible at a week ago. We tried our best to bring resolution to that, as well as change personnel so that we would be better in those areas. And they played their butts off.
Okay, just one or two more. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Coach Jimmy Searfox, 247 Sports. There's a lot of recruits in the building today. What does a win like this in front of these fans say to those who are kind of sitting on the fence?
It says ain't hard to find. That's what it says. And the thing about it, you got to recruits analyze everything, because I analyze stuff when I was a recruit. So they sitting out there seeing, understanding their position, saying to themselves, I can do that. I can play for them, and I can do that right now. And then the atmosphere on top of that, and you don't have to sell Boulder. Boulder sells itself. So we're not selling anything. We're not promising anything. We're just giving them an opportunity of a tremendous education and a tremendous opportunity to get to the next level, which is the NFL, if they come here and play for us. But it would be tough for me to turn this down if I were a recruit, especially if I'm the parent.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Denver CU Sports Report. We saw Bishop Thomas waving his hand in the end zone. We saw Shane Cooks on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what went into your decision-making on putting those defensive guys in the offense?
They're better blockers than the offensive guys that we had doing it. Because they're grinders. They're defensive tackles, so they know how to get low, they drive, and shoot, they were better. So I said, put them in there. And the formation that we use them in is called Rick Ross. So when they say Rick Ross, they ready. That's what we do. I was hoping Bishop caught the touchdown pass. I'm pretty sure we would have got a penalty, but I just wanted to see it.
Okay, last one from Mick over there. Hey, Coach, I asked Shedeur to grade his primetime shuffle after he scored that rushing touchdown. He said it's in his blood, and he gave it a 10 out of 10.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Because he don't kick the feet up. He don't want it. Excuse me?
He said it was better than you.
No, he don't want it. He don't have. Shedeur is not a dancer. The only I can't dance either. The only dancer in our family is Bossy, my daughter. She's the only one that really has rhythm. The rest of us, we didn't get that. The Lord passed us when it came to dancing. Couple more, because I'm feeling good right now. Couple more. Yes, sir.
You've talked about the impact the defense had today.
Yes, sir.
Shedeur talked about it. Talk about them enjoying the throne. Is that built to your specifications?
No, they did a wonderful job. Shoot, is it Icy Breeze, right? What's up? Yep. Isn't that the company? Icy Breeze? Yep. They did a phenomenal job. First of all, I love what they do, and just to build that throne for the guys to run over to celebrate, they got it. I love stuff like that. I mean, that's what guys want to do, so I'm all for it 100%.
Thanks. Coach, just real quick, your assessment of the running game. I know it looked like you guys were
We
trying
tried.
to get guys.
We tried, but I mean, it's hard to be overcritical when I think Shedeur's, what did he do? I forgot how many yards. I think he had. They didn't put it on there. Excuse me?
397.
No, passing.
Oh,
Rushing. Rushing, yeah. So he added to that, but dealing with 55 yards, we got to do better. We got to be more physical, especially down at the goal line. And we throw in the turn ball, we run, have an attitude that we can run and punch it in. And we got to improve on that. We got to be a lot more physical minded. One more.
Coach Sean Keeler, the Denver Post. You ever been there? Because you talked about this with a field storming like that before. What was your view of that? And I'd seen something I hadn't seen here. They asked the students to not come out. They said, Coach Prime says, don't come out. They all came out. I can't believe it.
Well, I seen a club storm one time when I was I'd never been on the field with a storm, A lot of storming in the hood where I grew up. A lot of storming at the skate rank. It was all storm at the end of that every week when you heard gunshots. But that was phenomenal. I didn't get a chance to really see it because the security team was getting me out of there. But I'm pretty sure. And by the way, Rick George and Peggy got game balls today, and it was phenomenal after the game. And I don't know when we're going to cut it up and put it out, but at the end, Peggy said, "Give me my theme music." I can't wait till you see that. I can't wait till you see that. That was wonderful. God bless you. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Coach.
See you next week.